Okay, here we go. It is our second ever Ocho Summer Showdown Draft Night. Let's meet who you'll be
Recording
facing.
in progress.
I am. Why am I echoing? Okay, we're good. Uh, Lee, three-time Ocho champion. Wait a minute. I think it was.
Mute Calvin.
You, Calvin.
Who did this to me? No, Calvin's muted now. But now we're good. Yeah, it was Calvin. Okay, cool. All right. Sorry about that. Yeah, those are my accolades. And then I'm here with Kyle Qualls, Kuiper McShay, draft expert, draft analyst, three-time champion somehow, thanks to me. One time got blown out in the Rising Stars game by Primos. Kyle, excited? How you feeling?
I feel great. I prefer Mel Kiper Sr. It's even bigger and better than last year. The mock drafts have come out and they have me ahead of Primos for some reason, even though he destroyed me in the Rising Stars game. So we'll see what happens.
And if anything could transition from the regular season to the summer tournament, it's 3 random overtimes in which you played with Ethan. So, all right. Just real quick, we're going to run through all the rules for those unfamiliar. So there's going to be 18 people. The GMs are going to draft everyone, just like last season. We're going to have a World Cup style group stage, so 4 teams in a group. You all play each other once for 3 games. Based on that, you will be seeded on record. The first tiebreaker will be head-to-head and then points. If it's a tie. And then based on that, you'll play your final game in the championship, the third place game, the fifth place game, the seventh place game. Seventh place game is just disrespectful, but someone's going to be in it. And each player has submitted 2 niches, and you will be getting those sometimes in the first 3 games. There'll be no niches in the final championship round. Guarantee that there will be 2 rounds of each major sport in the group stage, so we've kept it even for everyone. You get all 3 of the group stages in the final, and otherwise it's the normal league rules and lifelines. Some people aren't familiar with them, but we'll make sure you're up to speed by the time the first game comes around. Here is draft summary. Very different to when we random number generated it like 2 months ago. To break down some of the trades, Fa traded all of his first round and second round picks, and he only has third round picks. Will moved up to number 1, taking that from Petey. So that's very notable. Petey has 3 of 4 consecutive picks at the end of round 1 and start of round 2. So it's a very bold strategy. And Steven has acquired a second first round pick in exchange for his third round pick. So that's everyone who has an altered pick. Kyle, who do you think has the best selection here to work with before they make their picks?
You know, we obviously won't know until the games conclude, but we obviously have a contrast in styles or philosophies. Will thinks, okay, there's only a certain number of elite players. Let me go get one of them with the first pick. Petey says, let me go for depth. And Fa says, let me just draft my friends. Is he punting? I don't think so, because I think his friends will probably be pretty good. I would have to give the edge right now to Petey. I think having 3 solid players as opposed to 1 really good player and 2 not so solid players is kind of the way to go.
Okay, well, we've wondered about that many times in the past, and I think we're finally going to find out. So without further ado, we are going to get into the draft board. Will traded up for the first pick, so as a result, the summer shandies are on the clock. Now, Will, hours ago, gave me this draft envelope, which I have kept closed, so I don't know who he's taking, but I have it in my hand, so technically the pick is in. But we don't have to rush things too much, Qual, so go ahead and tell me who you think is in this envelope and who you think should be in this envelope.
Okay, so in my draft profiles, I listed 3 players as potential first overall picks. That would be you, Alex, and Spencer. It seems like the consensus from the league is that he should take Alex. I personally think it should be you. I don't think Will should take you because you live in the same apartment and could easily smother him with a pillow in his sleep. But I think he did. Thanks, Primos. I think he is going to take you with the first pick. What
All
do you
right.
want?
Well, candidly, I hope not, because as we've said, Will is the last pick in the next 2 rounds. So I'm not going to be having a lot of help. But since he already has submitted it, let's go ahead and open this up and see what Will has decided to do. I wish I'd opened this ahead of time. All right. With the first pick in the second ever Ocho Summer Showdown draft, Will selects me, Matt Sharon, off the board with pick 1. Thanks a lot, Will. Will, you're here. You can tell me about why you decided to pick me, and then Kyle's going to tell us about why I'm so great. But Will, you go ahead first.
First, I'd like to thank our corporate sponsor, Kugel Summer Shandy. Please find Kugels at your grocery store and or liquor store. Thank you very much to our corporate sponsors that out in, I think it's Milwaukee. I'm not entirely sure. But the idea here was we just wanted positive vibes in the apartment. Matt's coming off of 2 big wins yesterday, both in the Champions League final and the Atlanta United game. And so I felt like he was a hot hand at the moment, as well as he has a good proven trivia record. So that was the thought process behind the pick.
All right. So we're going to put Steven on the board here. So Steven is the Heat Strokes. It'll be his pick whenever he's ready. In the meantime, Qualls, you can talk a little bit about me to my face if you want to, or alternatively, you can talk about the next pick and whether it's as much of a no-brainer as you would expect.
So, pretty good pick with the first one. I'm going to dick ride a little bit more, Primo, so feel free to mute. Yeah, 3-time Ocho champion, the first round pick of last year's Summer League champion. Just really well rounded and really good overall. I do think this is a clear decision at number 2. I'm not going to say who because I'm not gonna spell it out for Steven. Is it Steven who's
Yeah,
drafting?
it's Steven. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to spell it out. You got to do your homework. But yeah.
So I'm just saying, and hear me out here. We all know who we think he's going to pick. But if there was ever a time to pick someone who is unbelievably elite at non-sports categories, when you have a second first round pick, don't you think that might be the right play for chemistry reasons?
That could be. That could be. It depends on who he thinks he's going to get at 8. I think if he's going to be able to get someone who's very sports heavy and then create a well-rounded team.
Yeah. All right, we're still waiting on Steven. He's having some Wi-Fi issues, so I'm trying to see if he's still in here.
I'm here.
Oh yeah, you can just text me your pick if your Wi-Fi's not working, or you can say it right now if you want to. It's up to you.
Yeah. I was planning on taking Matt, and so now I'm gonna take Neil with my pick.
Oh shit!
Oh!
Okay, I did not see that
Oh,
coming.
shit.
Thank you
Oh,
very
shit.
much, Steven. We needed some spice in here. I'm all for it. So Neil is off the board with pick 2.
Holy
I
shit.
see that coming. All right, I'm not going to ask Steven too many questions because I know his Wi-Fi is awful. So Neil, how does it feel to be picked?
No,
I don't think anyone expected it. Oh, you're good. Go
well-
ahead, Steven. No.
Okay. Well, wait, what team am I on?
You're on the Heat Strokes. That was your GM.
The Heat Strokes, the team that I owned last
Yeah, you
year.
created
That
the
was
Heat.
god awful. You know, if my owner is here to speak, I'll let him speak a little bit. But if his Wi-Fi is bad, all I'm gonna say is, I was a player coach last year, probably the best person on my team, despite not having planned to play at all. But this year, we're in a good spot. My team, my GM has done wonders right now. So I'm very excited for what's to come later on in this draft.
All right.
Drafted. I would have went with Alex, but I've got my second pick in mind, and I think he'll pair perfectly with Neil.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So in the meantime, it is pick 3, which is going to be Ashley. So she's on the clock now. That's Tropical Torchics. So we'll give her a minute to think about it. Qualls, I mean, that was really surprising.
That was a huge surprise. I did grade Neil as an early first round pick, so in that sense, it's not totally surprising. However, I did think there were at least 2 players that were better. But you heard from Steven, he has a plan. Let's see if he gets the player he wants at 8, and then see who it is.
Yeah. Well, we thought Steven was like the Sam Presti of the league because he's just stockpiling those first round picks, but I don't even know who he is now. Is he the John Gruden of the league now?
I don't
Racial
know.
issues aside.
I'm going draft day mode.
Does that make Neil Alex Leatherwood?
Yeah, we'll see on that one. All right,
What
Ashley.
the fuck?
Oh, yeah,
What the fuck are these comps, bro?
just to be clear, Neil, you're getting absolutely cooked in the group text.
I am. I know I am. I'm getting called Sam Bowie right now.
I am
What the
also
hell is
drunk right
this?
now, if that helps.
Hey, you made a great pick. We're about to run this
I believe
tournament.
in you.
All right. Ashley has made her pick, and with the third overall pick, she is going to take Alex off of the board. Obviously, good value there because everyone thought he'd be going first, but you have to keep in mind that how is he going to deal with playing with a woman, much like Neil? Qualls, what do you think about the Alex pick?
Yeah, it's a bit. I don't know if Neil's Alex Leatherwood, then this is getting Michael Jordan at 3. Potentially the best player in the entire league, just won his second MVP in 5 seasons. So I guess the one question about him is like, how seriously is he going to take it? How intoxicated will he be? But none of those questions ever really seem to be a problem. He just wins no matter what.
Yeah.
Never won a chip though, I guess.
Yeah, can't win when it counts, but I mean, how much does it really count in the summer tournament anyway?
Exactly.
Okay, Cam, you're on the clock, so text me when you are ready to submit your pick. If you want to announce it yourself, just text me that you're ready to announce. Well, you already texted me, so I don't have to keep spelling it out. All right, Qual, so who do you think he's going to go with here? I mean, there's kind of an obvious choice.
I think the obvious choice is Spencer, but we will see.
But do you think Cam would pick Spencer? They've been beefing.
You're right. That's shit. Is it me? Huh. All right.
Didn't Spencer just threaten a holdout if Cam picked him like 20 minutes ago?
You're right. That's one thing we should note is that all the players are in the first round think they have way more power than they actually do.
Correct. Yeah, it's hard to have a lot of power when you get paid no money and you're actually paying to play.
Yes.
It's kind of hard to sit out after you've already paid $12, but I mean, what do I know? All right, the pick is in, and with the 4th overall selection, Cam is taking Spencer Rogers. Spencer off the board. Spencer, actually, we'll go to Cam first because Cam's in here. Cam, were you willing to pick Spencer after all the shit he's talked to you in the past, or are you guys like trivia made up? I know you're real life friends, but still.
It did pain me a little bit, but I know deep down Spencer is happy to put the Hawks jersey on again. You know, we're gonna have a little fun this summer. I think it's a great pick, great value pick. I had those top 3 like Qualls did, and I'm happy to get any of them. I'll compare it to the New York Jets number 4 pick last year, Sauce Gardner. Just a great overall pick, great player, a lot of talent here. So we're excited.
Spencer, can you confirm right now that you're gonna play no matter what, and it's all water on the bridge between you and Cam?
Absolutely, I can, and I'll tell you why. Cam might not be a very good player, but when it comes to GMing, excellent. He's got a silver tongue. I like what I just heard. He said, "Put the Hawks jersey back on," and I thought, wait, I could be on a Hawks team for the first time when it wins something, and Cam won't be on that team. Yeah, all right. Cam, give me some good teammates and let me win this thing and get the Hawks some silverware finally.
Oh, okay, that was well done. I didn't see that one coming. All right, Footer, you're up next. So Footer's told me he's going to be announcing his pick himself. So Footer, just tell me when you're ready to announce, and we will cede the stage to you. Qualls, I think this is the point where things get interesting because I think everyone kind of had an idea of who would go in the top 4. Not in the order we saw coming, though. But still, is this your time?
It could be. Footer said he was going to pick me just to spite me, which could be the case. He could just be talking shit. There are plenty of other kind of contenders for this pick, I would say. Calvin, Craig, Primos. And also, I think we should point out that Spencer said he would only sit out if he was paired with Leaf. So something to keep an eye on.
Well, I guess Leaf could go here and take care of that problem.
Yep.
All right, Footer says he's ready. So Footer, come on out and let us know who you're taking with the 5th overall pick of the first round.
Yeah, I was gonna take Qualls with my my second pick, but unfortunately, this is not my second pick. So I'll be going with someone who has proven leadership qualities, and that is Calvin.
Okay, Calvin off the board. A very good pick, of course. I didn't necessarily know that was coming, but Calvin, yeah, I think he's here, so we can ask him about that. Calvin, you've had some rough years on your old team, but you're off to Team Prepism. You have some green pastures ahead of you, and now you are a first round pick in this tournament. How, has your outlook on life as well as trivia just improved in the last couple of months since making that change? Are you feeling more positive now?
It's definitely improved. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wanted to drop a little bit further, maybe fall to the late second round, but I'm very flattered, and I've had a little man crush on Footer since I met him, so I'm pumped to be working with him.
All right.
I take after AA here. Calvin was a stud. He's had his Calvin game, league renowned, and maybe a couple of bad years on his team, but he gets shipped to a new team and turns it around and wins NLCS and a World Series MVP. And I'm looking forward to working with Calvin here.
Yeah, some very freed boogie vibes with Calvin getting some help. No disrespect to his old teammates, but just results wise, it wasn't always there. Eli is up. I have absolutely no idea what he's gonna do here. Qualls, I mean, we're just gonna talk about you every single time, but if he doesn't take you, who do you think he would take?
I think best overall, I would have to say Craig, but again, that's a very kind of one-sided player. He's very strong on non-sports, which is, I guess, the more valued skill because it's more rare. But again, that leaves a big hole, and he'll have to make up for that in the later rounds. So it's tough to say. For the Calvin pick, I will say I did grade him much lower than I did last year because in the 2 seasons since, he frankly did not have good seasons, but that could be a question of motivation and being in the right position. So we'll see what happens in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I've told a lot of people that I think Calvin's gonna be really good next season. I think he was in a trivia depression from the last 2 years. Not a lot of wins. Felt like he had to do it on his own, but now he has two really good teammates. I think it's gonna re-energize him, and he's gonna be good. So I'm looking forward to that for him. Still waiting to hear from Eli. As soon as I get a text, we'll let you know who he's taking. Um, I just don't. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with you. I guess Craig could go here, but I just would worry about the sports thing. I don't know. What
Could be a sneaky Leaf pick.
you think Lee is gonna go here?
I mean, maybe he good at NBA. That's all I'll say about that.
All right. Well, the pick is in. It is not Leaf. It is you. It's Kyle Qualls. So you are off the board. Notably, the worst team in the summer tournament last year after you were their first round pick. But I guess Eli feels different about you. Eli, what do you see in Qualls that's led you to pick him in the first round against all the odds of everyone else's opinion?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the returning champ, so I really have nothing to prove here. But Qualls, honestly, sometimes you just go for a good time. Not going for the most skilled player. So we're gonna take Qualls.
Yeah. And as Leaf said in his mock draft, very notably, drafting Qualls as the player means you avoid Qualls as the host. So that's a big advantage baked in for you there. So Qualls, I'm going to embarrass you by making you talk about yourself right now while Petey's on the clock. Land Sharks, your turn. But Qualls, yeah, talk about your own strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was such a strength to play games that aren't as fun. Yeah, I was a first round pick in last year's tournament, and things did not go to plan. I could be very defeatist about this and say, "Oh, I wanted to follow the second round," but you know what? I grew my hair out. I got a haircut. I discovered hair gel. I look good, and I feel irrationally confident about my trivia abilities. So I think we're in a good spot.
Okay. So Petey's pick is in. Before we get to it, we'll just take a peek at the board. Some interesting picks developing. First round almost done. Steven has his additional first round pick after this Petey pick. But in the meantime, Petey, with the 7th overall selection, has taken Steven Constant Takes of Mentally Illest fame. Steven off the board, obviously one of the best non-sports players in the league. He can offer stuff on sports, but obviously he might need a little beefing up from some of his teammates. Petey, what led you to that decision? How you feeling about it?
We're feeling really good about it. We're really excited about what Steven can bring to the franchise. He's not going to bring any off the field issues or anything like that. And just looking at the board and the way we graded guys, there's a lot of sports, expertise still out there. So this was a good opportunity to kind of round out the rest of our roster with nailing down a big history junkie like Steven. So super excited to have him on, I believe, the Land Sharks, and we're looking forward to hoisting a championship in a couple weeks.
That is true. Yeah. So, oops, my bad. Anyway, yeah. So that's a good pick, I think. Qualls. Qualls. Actually, wait. Before I ask you about what you think of the Steven pick, I want to ask you even more about what you think of the fact that there's a very good chance now, just based on where the board falls, that Steven and Coop could be on the same team.
It could be. I mean, Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan fought constantly, and they still found a way to win. By my draft grade, that was a bit of a reach, but he explained his reasoning that he felt that non-sports was a much more valuable skill set, and then he also has 2 picks after this one, so he can clearly get some well-rounded players in the next 2 picks.
All right. Well, Steven just told me his pick with the final pick of the first round. Steven is picking Craig, so he goes with his own teammates to wrap up the first round. Obviously, a non-sports expert. Might not know a sport if it hit him in the face, but that's okay because he offers a lot in other ways. I don't see Craig in the Zoom, so we won't ask him his thoughts. Steven, if you think your internet's good enough, you can just cut us off and talk to us about why you think Craig was the pick.
Yeah, well, first off, Craig's my guy. He got me into the league, but I took Neil, the sports guy, with my first pick, and I figured what better than one of the best non-sports guys to pair with him. And I couldn't think of a better duo to pair together, and I had Craig in mind when I took Neil at 2.
I'll ask Neil, though. Neil, how does your Daruma experience with Craig from several years ago affect your ability to work with him on a team?
Hey, it's like you said, Jordan and Pippen, they won chips. And you compared Steven and Coop to that. That's like, I don't know. That's not an apt comparison. There's no Jordan or Pippen in that group. Me and Craig, though, this is a Jordan and Pippen matchup. We're taking this to the glory land.
All right.
We're bringing this back home for Steven.
A lot of confidence there. I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at the Sam Bowie tweet or text from Noah. It's too good. But the second round is underway, and we already have a first pick here from the Land Sharks. I didn't even put on the clock up because Petey sent in his pick so fast. He was very confident about what he wanted to do here. And with the first pick in the second round, he's going to take Coop. Coop is off the board. On paper, maybe the best 1-2 pairing you could have, like on-field chemistry-wise. Off-field chemistry, I'm not so sure. Petey, what gives you confidence that Steven and Coop are going to be able to work together?
This is the start of the movie, right? This is some Disney Hollywood magic. These two are going to have to come together and overcome their differences, and it'll make for an awesome intro of Black and White, knowing early on there were doubters, but here we are, champions 2 weeks later.
Yeah, you got some real Remember the Titans stuff going on over there.
Yeah, minus the race part. But
yeah. Coop, how does it feel to come off the board, and what do you think you can offer to your team here?
Yeah, I'm excited. Come off the board right about where I thought I would, so I'm happy about that. I want to shut down this whole narrative that I have beef with Steven. There's no beef there. It's all love. So I'm excited to get to work, and hopefully we bring home a summer title.
Yeah. All right. And of course, Petey, you are right back on the clock. Qualls, how do you think he can round out his team? Obviously, he made 2 very strong first picks.
Yeah, so we have another chat sports guy, so it's not really that surprising that Petey took him. They are friends and coworkers. So sports guy paired with a non-sports guy. I guess it's just a matter of preference. Maybe could he reach for a Jeremy here, get some good niches like Gabagool? Could he
sandwich time?
Yeah, could he go for Leaf and get some NBA knowledge to go with Coop's existing sports knowledge? There are a lot of ways he could go. I don't think there's necessarily a wrong pick at this point.
Yeah, I agree. Everyone left has something to offer. As we take a look at the full board here, Petey's 1 pick away from completing his team, and then you have a full round 1 there. Fall yet to make a pick, of course, but a lot of interesting ways this could go. Petey sent in his final pick of the night, so the Land Sharks are off the clock. And with it, he is taking Austin from Hive Mind, which is not a pick I saw coming, to be honest, but I think it's very intriguing. Petey, what led you to that pick?
I think Austin is a player that maybe doesn't get a lot of ESPN highlights, top 10 moments, but the guy's a grinder, right? He's a third liner that in a setting like this can really rise above and be someone that contributes to a championship formula. So what I got here are three, I think, maybe not blue chip prospects, but three guys that are going to be the Coneheads. It's going to be one heck of a line, and we're going to put together a lot of success and stack a lot of wins.
I gotta say, out of everyone in the league, Petey is by far the best at doing like coach speak, media room talk. It's just fantastic.
Yeah.
Qualls, I mean, I didn't see that coming, but I kind of like it. What do you think?
No, I did say there were no bad picks here, and I don't think Austin is a bad pick, so I'm not going to go against myself. I do think it's quite a bit of a reach. I gave him like a middle of the third round grade, but I do think Petey's right. He doesn't get a lot of highlights, but he has won an Ocho championship, and he was a big contributor. Especially in sports for a Hive Mind team that's not particularly good at sports. So he's clearly done his homework and knows what he wants.
Yeah, well said. Okay, so Eli's on the clock now. He took you in the first round. So who would you like to see as your teammate?
It seems like going with the theme of enemies being forced to work together. I think it's only fair that me and Primos get paired up.
All right. Well, Eli's pick just came in. With the next pick, the third pick in this round, he will not be taking Will Primos. He will be taking Leaf. So Leaf is your teammate here. You look thrilled. What do you think about that pick? And then we're going to hear from a lot of people here, but we'll let you go first because it's you're the man of the hour tonight. You're the analyst. How do you feel about being Leaf's new teammate?
Primos says heart attack. He, good NBA knowledge. He has some really strong niches. Also very good at working the refs. People seem to think he's like a meme pick, but he's actually pretty good. And I feel like I'm higher on him than most people are. And that's just not the fact that I'm now on his payroll.
I'm shocked Leaf isn't actually here, but Eli, can you talk about what made you go Leaf here? And by the way, Footer, you're on the clock.
Yeah, similar vein to what Qual said. He's an enemy of our team, but we gotta bury the hatchet for the summer tourney. And I didn't want him going for Ashley's team because then he'd have to talk to a girl. So
Wow, honestly, very generous of you. Qualls, enjoy that, like I said.
I'd like to add one thing real quick.
Oh, you are here.
Qualls,
Okay.
I am here. Qualls, on the court, in the office. We got this. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm excited.
Next pick is Footer. And I gotta say, Qualls, I feel like there's a really obvious pick for Footer here. What do you think about it?
There's the temptation of taking your teammate, but then there's also the temptation of shitting on them and letting them slide even further. So I do think Primos is the move here. I do think we haven't talked about Noah really yet. Yeah. He's going to miss one game, so that's something to consider. But Noah has some championship DNA of his own and is also very good at golf and like some pretty niche things that are at a premium. So yeah, a couple ways he could go.
All right, Footer is ready. So Footer, go ahead and let us know who you're taking with the fourth pick in round 2.
Yeah, Primos and I had a heart-to-heart before this, and I told him that I think in the
there was no heart-to-heart. You just sent me one text. Like, it's not a big deal.
It wasn't. My heart was out on the floor, and Primos then shattered it. But basically, we had a deal, and I will not be taking Primos. I will be taking Jeremy.
Okay.
Wow.
Maybe yeah, no hard feelings there out of me. Like he just said, yeah, it's lame to pick your own teammates in the summer league, and I was like, yeah, true. So that was the heart to heart there.
That way to spill it to everyone, just my emotions all over the floor.
All right, so Jeremy chugs off the board. I don't see Jeremy in the chat. Jeremy, if you are here, you can go ahead and chime in about what you think about yourself and how you fit in. But in the meantime, Footer, what about Jeremy do you like here?
Look, what's not to like? I mean, the dude loves snacks. I love snacks. The dude's part of the tribe, also part of the tribe. And we both have acid reflux. I think it's just a match right here. And then, you pair him with Calvin, and it's pretty much a 1A and 1B situation with the two captains out there. You know, if you see an RB1 on the board in round 2, you got to snag him up.
All right. Cam, you are on the clock. Qualls, not too many options left, but also options I didn't expect to see here. So what do you think could go here? Well, who's most likely to go?
I think I think we have to acknowledge that Primos has slid pretty far, pretty like at least past where I thought he would in Leafs mock drafts. I think he was the 4th pick in one and the 5th pick in another, and we're now in the second half of round 2. I think either Primos or Noah should go here. But if someone has skills they like in Andrew and Mars, then those are in fact the other 2 options.
Yeah. All right. Pick is in, and Cam has decided to go with Will Primos. Primos, you're off the board. I think probably the expected pick, but probably the smart pick. So that pairs Primos up with Spencer, which is very interesting. Primos, how do you feel about that?
Actually really excited about it. It's a really good situation. It's like just joining a franchise that in the past we were amazing friends and allies with. Spencer still, we have that going on. So yeah.
Cool. Forgot about the alliance. Yeah. Cam, go ahead. Give us your thoughts here. Think you got a steal?
Not much to say. I used to not be a big Primos fan. He was pretty insufferable, but he's really grown on me. This is a good value pick. 2 good value picks here. Spencer and Primos. That's a solid team by itself. So we're excited.
Okay. And lastly, we'll let Spencer. Oh yeah, there's the Torchic for that pick. Spencer, how do you feel about your new teammate?
Killer pick. There was some, I don't know if I'd call it tampering, but some discussion about who I'd potentially, if I were to fall into Cam's lap, who I'd like to be paired with. I said I'd like Primos at number 2, make it happen, and here we are. So yeah, I couldn't be happier.
Wow, I'm impressed because it sounds like you and Cam can work a lot better in this format than you could on an actual trivia team. All right, so Ashley's pick is in. I will spoil it for you all now. She's going to take Noah. So Noah Anderson off the board. Qualls, why would you pick such a snake on your team? Like, she better watch her back, man.
One, shout out to Ashley. Two, I think a lot of people are forgetting that I was second in points per game on a three-time trivia champion. Qualls, I appreciate the kind words, but I think Matt and I got tired from carrying you. I think it was just tough.
Okay, Noah left lick my claws because he was tired of carrying me. That's fair. Yeah, he'll betray you, but God does he win. He's just a winner, and he gets golf at least sometimes, and don't say no to going to a basketball game with him one time, or he'll hold it over you for years. So, interesting pick. So yeah.
All right, so Steven's on the clock. There's 2 picks left. Teams are looking fairly complete after 2 rounds. Some very interesting pairings here. Steven's going to be the first one to actually finish his team here. So, Qualls, you can see on the right there, team rosters, pairs of 1 and 2. Who do you like most in terms of like a 1-2 punch situation out of the people on the board there?
Well, of course, Petey also finishes team. I do think I think Spencer Primos is a really just killer combination.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be really tough to beat. It's going to, if they get anything out of the 3rd spot, I think they're going to be a very competitive team.
Yeah. Neil, you and Craig are on the same team. It just hasn't been updated, but we'll take care of that. Don't worry. Fa just having no picks just messed up the board. But the second and last pick of round 2 is off the board, and Steven has decided to take Mars. So Mars is gone. Steven, I don't think Mars is here. So Steven, if you're still here, which I'm not sure if you are, go ahead and tell us why you took Mars. And if not, we'll have Qualls speculate as to why you took Mars. Yeah, I think Steven left. So Qualls, go ahead. Tell us what whoever Mars is, to be fair.
Okay, so we don't know who he is. We don't know what he's good at. But there is also the known commodity of Andrew being annoying. So I think that may have scared Steven into drafting Mars. I'm kidding, Andrew. Please, I'm sorry.
Oh, the disrespect. Okay, so yes, as we all know, that means summer shindies are technically on the clock, but also means that they not very much technically have to take Andrew. So he will be a round 2 selection here. My new teammate, Andrew Rogalski. I really thought Mars was going to be my teammate for the second year in a row. It'll be nice to mix it up, although I'm very familiar with Andrew and his work, so it's not exactly a stranger I'm paired with here. Will, you didn't have a choice in who you picked, but are you happy with who you got anyway?
There's no reason in saying I'm not happy with it because that just brings down team morale. But very happy with the selection here. Would have said that no matter who we got. I feel like we're strong here now. Yeah, I'm just rooting for whatever random person I get in the next round. It's kind of fun to see everyone else just mess up their teams and just know that we're just going to sit there and knock everyone off like easily. So very excited with who we're going to get in the third round as well as who we got in the second round.
Well,
so yeah, go ahead, Pauls.
In exchange for the first overall pick, Will basically traded away his right to pick anyone else.
Exactly. I kind of like it. It was kind of nice. It was like I made one pick and then I just sit here for another 30 minutes.
Correct.
Yeah, let's see who else we get.
Yeah. All right. We're in the home stretch here. We're in round 3. The Friends of the Ocho, except, of course, Nick Smith is the new Wick My Qualls member. He was only eligible to be drafted in this round because he agreed to join a tournament before he was a league member. And Brian of Mentally Illest is replacing someone who is unavailable, so he's also only eligible in this round. It's time for Fa. He's been waiting around for quite a while. I know he knows who he's picking with both the picks, but I'll wait to hear it from him officially. Fa's on the clock. Qualls, you can wildly speculate as to who's going to go when because we don't really know any of these people.
Yeah, so we know that Fa's going to pick his friends. I do think the first pick is going to be Tyler, who we saw for one game with the Hypnotoads and was excellent. Then he's going to pick another friend, probably Surya, if I'm saying that right. Surya, sorry.
You are saying that right. Well done.
Okay, thank you. Then it gets pretty dicey. Fa's going to be sweating it out for pick 7, trying to get his third friend. And I do think that Nick Smith and Brian will be the most tempting options because they're the ones we're most familiar with. Brian, obviously, this past season. And if any of the GMs are old enough to remember Nick Smith, then they might pick him at some point.
True. Of course, Nick Smith, Eli's best friend from college as well.
Yeah, if he's old enough to remember that.
All right. Still waiting to hear from Fa, but as soon as he lets me know he is ready to go, then I will let him either announce his pick or I'll read it off for him. So Fa, just say the word, and we will let you inform us of who you're taking. All right. You say pick is in, so Fa, if you want to announce it, go ahead and let us know who you're taking.
Yep. Listen, they say the last pick of the third round is Mr. Irrelevant. The first pick of the third round is Mr. Unlimited. See, you guys call him Jackie Robinson. I call him Russell Wilson because he loves Christ. And I'm taking my boy, Tyler Towns. He's a former Division I athlete. He was an all-state edge rusher in New Jersey. Listen, I saw his scouting report from those early days. All the coaches said the same thing. He can penetrate the bigs. He can suck the D in, and he just knows how to get in deep. And that's exactly who we want.
Wow. Way to really sell your pick there, Fa. Good work. Honestly, great we got a scouting report from you because we have no idea. We all do remember he played one game. It was a makeup game, and he absolutely torched Manchester United and was the reason they missed the playoffs. So that was unfortunate for them, but he was really good. So
I love being a scoundrel.
Yeah. All right, Fa. Well, you have another pick right now. So once you know who you're taking, you can fire it off once again.
Yep. Pick is in. Can I just go ahead?
Yeah, go for it.
Yep. Next guy. He's 6'2", but his reach, he's like 6'5". He really knows how to reach around the defense. We're going with Nicholas Papandrea. His father may or may not be a member of the mafia. His father's name is Tony Pap. He has a very dubious job as a union electrician where he commutes to New York City every day. And let me tell you one sentence about Nick. He is autistically good at college sports. Oh my God.
Okay. Well, Fa, like I said, Fa knows how to sell a teammate. That's for damn sure. So now that you've kicked off the board, Eli will be upped, and you have 6 options to choose from, Eli. So go ahead and let us know. Qualls, I'm not even going to ask you to speculate on who people are taking because we don't really know these people. The pick is in on Eli. He is going to go Nick Smith off the board. Our teammate calls Nick Smith.
Yep.
Ashley's mad, but yeah, a little bit of nepotism there, of course, but you can't blame him. So Eli, let us know, what do you think about Nick, or do you just feel like he would have been mad if you didn't take it?
No, I mean, despite my negative thoughts on him off the field, he's a good sports player, and him and Qualls have good chemistry, so he was the obvious choice.
Yes. So your team is done. It is Qualls, Leaf, and Nick Smith. We can fire this over to the board real quick. Qualls, what do you think about that squad that you have going on right there?
I think this is going to be a bit of a preview for this upcoming season for us playing with Nick Smith. If you could just imagine yourself in Leaf's place, that's what our real team will look like. I do feel pretty good about this. I feel like Nick is a pretty well-rounded player, as is Leaf. So I think, I don't think any of us are really like excelling in any particular area, but I think we're all pretty well-rounded. So I think that we could be a good team.
All right. Footer, you're on the board for your last pick. Let's see. Well, we know one person left, Brian. So there's a chance he could go here, Qualls. He's a pretty solid player. We've heard good things about Surya, and I've personally heard good things about Jim from Steven. So I think there's a lot of good options here.
Sure.
Worth noting also that Noah's brother looks exactly like him, so we have to assume they have the same amount of knowledge, and Noah was a pretty good pick in round 2.
Yeah.
So
also, disregard my scouting report of Ethan. I had met the other brother.
Yeah,
he's not at all like Noah, apparently. Well, I know he's not at all.
Wait, this is important for the pick for the scouting report. Is he or is he not a PE teacher?
He is not. That was Noah's other brother.
Okay, I'm gonna need some more time.
Good thing I clarified.
Can confirm he's not a PE teacher.
All right. So
apparently he's much more like Noah in vibe and in.
Wait, Noah, are you in this Zoom on your brother's phone?
Oh yeah, but he's right here.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, see, they look the same. So basically the same player. Still waiting on Footer's pick, but that's all right. We got time. We'll go back to Noah. All right, Qualls, I'm gonna make you shit on someone here.
Okay.
Who has the worst roster on paper as currently assembled?
Look, you're a great player, Matt. I don't love the team that's the pairing that's gone on. And also, I will not to talk shit again, but I do think if Calvin and Jeremy are as good as I graded them, which who knows if they are, then that could be. I think they were reached for a little bit.
All right. Well, Footer, and according to Qualls, you have some stuff to make up for here. As my
I don't really care what he says.
Go for it. Who you're picking?
I'm gonna take Jim (parentheses friend of Steven).
All right, Jim, friend of Steven, is off the board. To be fair, I've heard really good things about him, actually, so I think that might have been a good pick.
I really like how 2 of my teammates have the same niche, Lord of the Rings now.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's almost a can't miss right there. And then also his other niche of World Capitals pairs really well with Calvin there, too. And then we got Jeremy to fill up in the sports.
Very, very smart.
Also, we can't see anything anymore.
No, I know. My PowerPoint crashed. I'm just reopening it. So
Footer going with the bold strategy of overlapping areas of expertise. He's trying to get everyone who knows the same things.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Which could work out. It could be like a FIFA Ultimate Team chemistry type thing.
Yeah, true. It's a good point. All right. So I apologize for my PowerPoint crashing, but c'est la vie. We have 3 picks left in the draft. And I'll just leave the league members up because they're all gone, obviously. Nick Smith is off the board. This Nick is off the board. Tyler's off the board. John is off the board.
Jim
is off the board. So I apologize for misspeaking because there's actually 4 picks left. And we have
Or was it John?
Huh? No, he took Jim.
Okay.
So it is Eli's turn. Wait, excuse me. It's Ashley's turn. Tropical Torchics are on the board. So they have those 4 options, and there we go again. So, you have some good options here.
Hey, it's my turn.
No, you traded your pick, Eli.
It's just Cam.
I know, this is a bit. Go ahead. You're up.
Okay, I texted you, but we're gonna take Surya. I don't know anything about him, but I got a text that said we want Surya, so I just listened to my players, and that's who we're taking.
Okay, I think that's actually a really good pick. Candidly, Surya played for Neil. How many times Surya played for you? Once.
Just once, but I think we've called him two.
Okay.
Did he play against our team, Neil?
Yeah, it was the one we lost with the Zach Wheeler overtime.
Crucially, I believe he's a basketball guy, which fills in
No,
Petey's
no,
nice.
no, no,
Damn
not
it.
that one, not that one, not
Damn.
that one.
Well,
His
Solid
name in
effort,
our
solid
group chat is actually doesn't know ball.
shit.
Like it's literally doesn't know.
I don't
ball.
know if I believe them, but
He was pretty
he's a
good on other
football
stuff,
guy.
though.
That's
I
his
remember
only
him.
word. He's a football
He's
guy.
definitely a good player nonetheless, though.
this would have been a perfect opportunity for Ross, but my man not available this summer.
Yeah, dude, Ross, last year's MVP, nowhere to be seen. Or newcomer MVP, I guess. All right, so after fucking with Cam, Ashley is indeed up, and then we will end with oh, there we go. Then we'll end the draft with Fa again, and then Will getting the run to the litter. Ashley, I think, has a very obvious choice here if she wants to be cool and fun. And I think she does because she is going to take Ethan Anderson. So we got a little brother matchup on the team. Love to see that. Noah, you and your not twin, but basically twin, can tell us how excited you are to play together now.
I expected Ethan to be Brock Purdy and be Mr. Irrelevant, but
I did too.
Oh, we're winning this thing, man. Is it us and Matt?
No, it's you two and my brother.
Oh, even better. We got the good share. Love it.
All right, so we have 2 picks left. Fa, you are making your last selection, and lo and behold, one of the picks is your friend. So I wonder what will happen here.
They didn't think I'd get all my guys, but I got all my guys.
He's sweating. He's been sweating it out for 5 picks.
This team is finishing with 2 people of color, one being black and one being Italian. And now we're getting John, who's half Puerto Rican. I'm just saying. So John, huge Chiefs fan. I know that's pretty cringe, but he's the glue guy we wanted. He's the vibe guy. I'm pretty sure he's in here, or at least he was earlier. Yeah, John is in here. John, if you want to step in and say a few words, I know we're going to dominate.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I knew you'd get me, brother. I knew you'd get me. Obviously, we're going to step up. We're going to crush this league. I'm happy that you said I'm the vibe guy. I'm going to keep our spirits up. I'm going to be hyping us up. And yeah, obviously, we're going to take this league by storm. It's no issue.
And his voice sounds like that because he's probably hopping into the Zoom in between bong rips. That's the type of glue guy he is. All right, that's our guy.
He would be correct.
That means that with the last pick, Brian Tomasco is going to go to the Summer Shandies. That means that I'm playing with 2/3 of mentally illest, which I don't know how I feel about, candidly. But here we are. Before the draft, I thought I was going to play with one player from mentally illest, and it would be Steven Constant takes because Steven Botchner would take me at 2 and then him. And it's not how this thing played out. But anyway, I'm excited to, prove everyone wrong again after my team got housed in round 1 last year and then won the whole thing. So Qualls, I have the final rosters for you here. Who do you think looks the best on paper? Give us your prediction to win it all, and then we'll wrap things up tonight.
Okay, so for chemistry's sake, I'm picking my team, but as an analyst, I'm going to pick the Summer Hawks because I think Spencer and Primos is a great pairing, and then Surya. Of the Hypnotoads replacements, if I'm remembering correctly, I think he was kind of the weakest, but even then, he was better than anyone on the actual Hypnotoads.
I think he was the middle guy. I think Neil was the weakest, and Sri was the strongest, and Surya was in the middle.
Okay, all right. I could be remembering that wrong. I do, got to give credit to Fa. I don't know how good that team will be, but he wheeled and dealed, and he got exactly what he wanted. And in that regard, he is a powerhouse of a GM. He gets what he wants.
Well said. Okay, I'm gonna zig where you zagged. I'm saying that Ashley's team is gonna win it all, not because she's sitting next to me, but because she got Alex and then Noah, the second best team on a championship winning team, second best player rather, and then Noah's brother, who surely can't be any worse than Noah because Noah is the failure child. So I mean that seems like a good squad. And weak team, I don't know. We'll see what Footer's team can do. I've heard really good things about Jim, but you just never know. Flitter's always got something cooking, so I'm never going to count him out. But he also loves a good bit, and he could be going for that here.
I do worry about Jim. He, much like mentally illness, looks very smart when they tell you how smart they are. But will that translate to trivia?
All right, Jeremy just hopped in as we're ending Zoom because why wouldn't he? So Jeremy, just so you know, you're playing with Calvin and Steven from mentally illness friend Jim. So there you have it, Jeremy. We're excited to have your sandwich niche. All right, thanks guys for watching. This was fun. It's always like maybe the most fun thing we do every year. You will be getting the schedule for like what time you're playing now that we know what teams you're on, and you will get the rosters for those who've forgotten what team they're on already. Qualls, thank you very much for providing your analysis. Good night, everyone, and we'll see you all on Tuesday.